Means if we do like that, then we'll only means eventually will not develop any natural love. We'll keep on doing all these activities very ritualistically. We may even get bored sometimes. Like sometimes if we are very ritualistically chanting 16 rounds or even sometimes more rounds, so uh, then we may get bored that why I have to chant, or I'm not feeling like chanting. So such thoughts may come in our mind. One may feel that uh, as if chanting has become a burden on the head. Hmm. Or as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, if a pujari doesn't have good consciousness, the deity becomes Galagraha, as a burden in the neck, right? So one should be careful. So Rajashandra is telling, if we, even though initially we may not have taste, but if we go on chanting enthusiastically with great eagerness, with intensity, then eventually Krishna will give us the taste. So how long can we artificially do devotional service? In the sense, we should all understand that devotional service is an eternal engagement. This is not just for this life. It's not that you chant. Uh, it's not that you chant one life, and after that, when you go to spiritual world, there is no serving of Krishna. We should understand that devotional service is eternal engagement. Spiritual world also, we are meant to eternally serve Krishna, right? So if here only if we feel bored, if here only we are not uh, feeling happy to chant or engage in the devotional service, then what to speak of going to spiritual world? So that's why Krishna doesn't allow us to go to spiritual world so easily. One of the symptoms of pure devotional service, Sudurlabha. Krishna is very rare to achieve. It's very challenging. Uh, in the sense, Krishna doesn't allow us so easily unless we have developed a true taste. So, if that is our goal, going back home, back to Godhead, or developing Krishna Prem, so why not take the process very seriously? Uh, as Prabhupada said, why not give this one life to Krishna fully? Fully in the sense, putting our heart and soul. So, because if we do it very artificially without putting our heart, then again we may have to take birth. So, that's why if the goal is very clear, and if we understand that this is not only this one life's activity, this is the eternal activity of the soul to render devotional service. So, unless I develop that natural uh, attraction for his service, even if I go to spiritual world, I'll get bored. Oh, how long I should serve this Krishna only? What about myself? Everyone only says Krishna, Krishna. There's nothing else. So one may start looking here and there, right? So that should be understood, that we have to develop so much taste that we are willing to perform devotional service eternally. not just for 2 hours or 3 hours. So Krishna consciousness is a eternal activity. Not that my 2 hours of chanting is my Krishna consciousness and other time is for myself. Okay, initially one may be like that, but actually eventually one should come to the level that my whole time is for Krishna. So nothing for myself. In the sense we have to take care of body and everything, but even taking care of body or mind, all these things also should be in relation to Krishna, with a desire to serve and please Krishna. So I am myself also far away from this, but this is the standard which we have to aim at. So here is a nice verse. Nehayat karma dharmaya na vairagaya kalpate na tirtha pada sevai jivan api mrito bhisa. Anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, anyone whose religious ritualistic performance do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to Supreme Lord must be considered dead, although he is breathing. It's a strong verse. So, as the Bhagavatam verse also says, no? Dharma svanishtita pumshan vishvakshena katashayat notpadaye dediratin shramayevahi kevalam. So, if our work doesn't lead ultimately to develop rati for Krishna, then it's all useless. So this is about Niyamagraha. Now we'll go to I'll answer the questions at the end. Now we'll go to the next topic, Janasanga and Lolyam. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah. So after Janasanga, this Niyamagraha is Janasanga. So what are the different things which we need to avoid, which are unfavorable for devotional service? One thing is this Janasanga, the association of bad people or who will take us away from Krishna. So there are different types of bad Janasanga, which we will discuss. So it is said a person is known by the company he keeps. We become what we associate with. If we associate with devotees, eventually one also may become devotee. So it is said, nobody is born a smoker. By associating too much with smokers, one also starts smoking. So according to our nature, people try to make friendship. So in this world, even in human beings, we have 4 lakh varieties from the lowest consciousness, maybe most demonic people, to pure devotees, right? So according to our nature, we always try to associate with those people who have similar natures. There is a saying, birds of the same feather fly, same nature fly together. What about the saying? Birds of the same feather fly together, right? Something like that. Okay. So Ravana, we see in Ramayana so many times different people. Okay, birds of the same feather flock together. Okay, thank you. So we see in Ramayana so many times this Ravana was told, please give up Sita. Right? Hanuman told, Ram told, Mandodari, his own wife, told, even Kumbhakarna told his own brother. So many people warned him so many times, but still Ravana never listened to their words. But he had more faith in his demonic ministers. So, because of that, he just followed whatever they said. Same way in Krishna's pastimes, also we see Kamsa. Actually, when Durga appears as a 8th child, and then Kamsa releases Devaki and Vasudev, so that time he starts actually repenting for his mistakes, and he forgives, means he gives a, removes them from jail. So later on, when he meets all his ministers, demonic ministers, they all suggest that no, 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 we never know where this 8th child may be there somewhere. So better you kill all the children who are born during that time. So because of their association, his mind changes and he orders them to kill all the children born during that time. But on the other side, Vibhishan, he understood that this fellow Ravana is never going to change. So he took to the side of Lord Ram, right? So even in Ramayana, we see our Kaikeyi, same thing. So, so because she heard from Manthara, she lost all that faith in Lord Ram. She put more faith in Manthara, Manthara's words. So even as devotees, we should be careful sometimes. In the sense, sometimes if people just blaspheme other devotees and we keep just hearing those words and keep trusting them, then it is very, very dangerous, because it may or may not be true. So unless it comes from a proper source, we should never believe in blasphemy or any criticism. And also we should understand that unless we are in a position or we are told to do some particular service of dealing with that devotee, then only we can hear something bad about any devotee. Otherwise, what is the need? Suppose we have nothing to deal with a particular devotee, in the sense um, we are not his authority and we have nothing in that sense to give and take. So unnecessarily, if we keep hearing too many criticisms and all, so we may also start developing fault finding tendency. So that can become an obstacle uh, for the seed of bhakti to grow. So we should be very, very careful. So there are different kinds of materialistic people. So there are different categories, Radhesham bro was telling. So some are detectable and avoidable. Means one can detect if somebody has good intelligence, very easily one can detect and avoid. So the first category of people are those who have no moral values, nor they have faith in God. So neither they follow normal general rules and regulations also, which are there in society, nor do they have any faith in God. So Rishabh is telling that they are just servants of their desires. So whatever their mind says, they just blindly follow. So they don't have anything to think beyond their eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So one example is of bogus sadhu smoking ganja. So they don't even follow the normal rules and regulations. And also atheistic people who do a lot of sense gratification. So how do we understand that somebody doesn't have any faith in God? So they may have some faith in moral values, but they may not have any faith in God. So when they start speaking, then we understand the statement, a person is known by what he speaks. So Radheshan is giving these examples like Dayanand Saraswati. He saw that a rat was going across a Shivalinga, and he felt that if God cannot protect himself, then what sort of God he is? So then he became an atheist. So we should understand that deities appeared on the loving call of a pure devotee, and they appear here to accept the services of devotees. So Radheshan was telling it's like a small baby born, a small baby child. So just like parents very nicely take care of the child, protecting and feeding, dressing, bathing, right? So same way, a devotee is meant to take care of the deities in that mood. So in that mood, the deity fully depends on the devotee. Krishna is controlling the entire universe. He can do whatever he wants, in the sense he can easily control all this. But one should understand this. So Lord doesn't come here, as Radheshan was saying, to prove his supremacy. Already he has proved in the past, when he appeared as Krishna or so many other incarnations. He has shown his Vishwaroop or lifted Govardhan, so many activities he has done. So as deity also, we see so many pastimes Krishna performs, like Sakshi Gopal, and in Jagannath Puri, Tota Gopinath. So those pastimes are there, but in general, Lord is willing to accept the services from his devotees. So Prabhupada was once asked, so why we should offer flowers, fruits to this stone? What is the use of offering all this food? Why don't we offer this to beggars on the street? It's better than offering this to the stone. Somebody from Arya Samaj, they don't follow deity worship. They don't believe in deity worship. So Prabhupada said, should I? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yomai Bhakta Prayachati. If you offer a fruit and flower with love, I'll surely accept. So Prabhupada said, should I accept Krishna's words, who is the Supreme Lord, Bhoktaram Yajnatapsam Saralok Maheshwaram, or should I accept words of a loafer like you? So Prabhupada was very heavy on him. So we have the choice. So another category is faith in morality, but no faith in God. So these people, they want to do social service. Rajan gave example of Jyoti Basu, who is engaged in social service. So many people in this world. Actually, most of these people, when they do social service also, they do only for getting some name, fame, recognition. That they want to be known as someone who gives charity, and his name should be proclaimed in all papers and media, like politicians. So most of the people are like that. And even if they are not like that, still there is no use, in the sense ultimately they have to again take birth in this world. Another example given is of Karna. So we know Karna, how Duryodhan helped him the first time when he came to show his prowess. So later on, when Kunti and Krishna, everyone requested him to give up the association of Kauravas and come, he was not willing to give up. Although he was very famously known for his charity. So he was known for giving charity as much as wanted. But he didn't follow Krishna. Right? So Radheshampur is telling none of the good qualities of the world should eclipse our Krishna consciousness. So there is that statement in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is useless. Right? So we can show compassion, like Prabhupada also gave prasad. We have this food for life. When Prabhupada saw in Mayapur children and those who were very hungry fighting with dogs to get some food from dustbin, he felt very greatly pain, and he said devotees should feed people around the temple in 10-kilometer radius. So Prabhupada is also very compassionate, physically also. But if somebody is not connecting them to Krishna, eventually, like even in ISKCON, even though we give food, but that is prasad. So gradually people get elevated in their consciousness. So that is how that distribution of food also becomes Krishna conscious. But in outside world, we see people, they may give clothes, they may do a lot of things. So yeah, on a physical level they are helping, but ultimately spiritually they are not elevating. So they in their next life they may get a good birth, but they will not become Krishna conscious unless they come in contact with a devotee and accept the process. So another example is of Nala Damayanti, who are very famously known as moralists, but because they are not Krishna conscious, Shankar was telling, they are not mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, but even if somebody wants to be a moralist, one will not continue lifelong like a moralist or life after life, because eventually if somebody doesn't serve Krishna, eventually the ulterior motives will enter one's heart. no matter how good one may be, either in this life or in next life, one will surely get degraded. So even if you want to follow the moral rules and regulations, a devotee only will be able to follow properly. So the Mayavadis, they carry the Ekadanda, the devotees and sannyasis in the Bhakti tradition, they carry three danda. So if we hear from this, as uh, Chetan Mahaprabhu says, Mayavadi Bhashya Sunle Hoy Sarvanash. So if we hear from them, the tender creeper of bhakti will be gone, it will be covered up. So this Mayavadis, because they are offenders of Krishna, so it is very dangerous to associate with them. So by too much by associating with them, one may lose the desire to serve Krishna. So Radheshyam Prabhu gave some examples of some missions. Although externally they may appear to be some religious missions, but we see them opening poultry farms, schools and hospitals just for sense gratification, either self sense gratification or extended sense gratification. Sometimes we see they just start some courses for handwriting or speaking English just to attract the crowd. So, but Prabhupada, he was very, very clear. Also, Radheshyam Prabhu gave example of Shankaracharya, that he told in one meeting with students of school that science is your duty and I would like to see you making rockets and sending to other planets. But we see Prabhupada when he went to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology in US, which is considered the best of all institutes. Prabhupada challenged them. He said, where is the department for soul? You don't know who you are and what you will study. If you don't know, first of all, who you are, the whole foundation of education is gone, right? So many times Prabhupada, if you see in all his lectures, he starts with the knowledge of soul, because this is the most basic foundation of spiritual life. So, but unfortunately, none of the schools or colleges, they teach even the most basic thing. People are just rotting in bodily consciousness. So Prabhupada, actually that's why I wanted this knowledge to be given to all the children and school and college students, so that right from childhood they are taught. Also, they call Daridra Narayan Seva, the Mayavadis. They bring the lowest of people, saying that that is also Manav Seva is Madhav Seva. So actually, when you serve Madhav, automatically Manav Seva happens. Yata taror moola nishechanena. Right? If you water the root, automatically the branches, the leaves, everything is watered. So we see in the past when kings, they kept serving Krishna as the root of their lives, as the basis of their service. So because they used to perform yajnas for the pleasure of Krishna, and they emphasized devotional service. Whatever is required materially was provided by nature. So everyone was happy. We see in Bhagavatam when Maharaj Yudhishthir was ruling or Parikshit was ruling. So many examples. All the kings, great kings, because they focused on serving Krishna, that's why everybody was happy in the kingdom. But now people, they don't understand. They are only watering the branch and leaves instead of watering the root. So because of that, they are suffering. Neither the branch or leaf, if you water the leaf, what is the use? Actually the leaf will not be watered, right? Same way, if you try to satisfy the living entity separate from Krishna, no matter how much you try to give him sense gratification, you'll never be happy. Just like that famous photo is, fish outside water, and people are trying to give him the best of facilities, still he is never happy. So when we associate with such people, two things happen. One gives up service to God, and one may start considering oneself as God. So it's very, very dangerous. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sannyasi chitkana jiva kirana kan sama sad aishwarya purna Krishna haya suryopama. So Krishna is Mayadish, Jiva is Mayadhin. So the living entity is always tiny, insignificant. Before Krishna, we are so small, right? So people, they know Krishna is great. They say God is great, but Prabhupada used to say they don't know how great is God. So because of this, people are suffering. So Radheshyam was telling, because the spiritual organizations are not keeping God in the center. Most of the spiritual organizations, so-called, they are just focusing on social welfare. That's all. So instead of serving Vigraha, they are serving Aham Graha. They are focusing on themselves as if they are the deity. So Radheshyam was telling, he once met one person when he was traveling in a train. He said, Chaitanya Pat Shankar Mat. So these Mayavadis, they don't know how to control their senses, nor do they know how amazing is devotional service. So because they don't have idea of all this, that's why even though they go to Brahman, they fall off because there is no activity. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this story of Ram Das Bishwas is there, who was constantly chanting the name of Ram when he came with Raghunath Bhatt Goswami. So externally he appeared to be a great devotee. He was serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, but he externally was serving this Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, but actually he was a Mayavad. His desire was to become Ram. So when he came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he simply neglected him as a Mayavad. So here, 1 minute. Voice is breaking. Actually, anytime if my voice appears to break or it's not coming, I request devotees that first they can once check with other devotees also, uh, because if everyone, you can check privately with other devotees, and in case if many are feeling, then we can do something. So, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we see he completely neglected him. So, because his desire was to become Ram, constantly he was chanting, but he wants to become Ram, right? So, the so-called Mayavadis, they may just show off as if they have so much Krishna prem, but they are very, very dangerous. So Mayavadis are like, it is compared, they use the process as a ladder. So just like they say that we can use ladder to go up the wall, and then later we can throw away the wall. So same way they feel that whatever devotional service or different processes, whatever may be, it is used to go to Brahman, and after going to Brahman, we need not follow all those devotional activities or any other activity. So Radheshandra was telling they are compared to tigers in guise of cow. So, so when a tiger goes in the guise of cow, then when the another cow comes, he'll pounce and eat her. So the Mayavadis are compared to like that. So one should be very careful. So sometimes people may perform Gnana Yagna. So they use Srimad Bhagavatam to promote Mayavad. So although the Mayavadis generally don't believe in the pastimes of Lord, but they also do Bhagavad Saptas just to increase their popularity. So Prabhupada, once he wrote a letter to Mayavad organization saying that you all guys, you are misrepresenting Bhagavatam. I'll call police. So Prabhupada was like a police for Mayavadis. Just like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it is mentioned, he was known as Simha Guru. When he would walk in a street, in case the Mayavadis came opposite side, they used to run away, because sometimes he used to catch them by the collar, neck, and say, why are you preaching this all nonsense philosophy? So they were very, very fearful. So so one should be very careful not to have 6 loving exchanges with them. So we'll go a little ahead. The another aspect is faith in God and faith in morality also. But faith in morality is greater than faith in God. So like Gandhiji, actually I heard in his childhood he saw Ramayana drama, and he was very attracted by the character of Lord Ram, and he wanted to follow the path of truthfulness. But then when he heard Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, so he said that I feel ashamed to call myself a Hindu. So these people, they don't have sufficient knowledge. They have little bit knowledge. They are mostly like pious people. They have little knowledge. They don't know the qualities and greatness of the Lord. They might have never heard from devotees. So that's why they may have more faith in morality than in God. But devotees, they give more priority to Krishna than morals. So here are the examples of Vasudev. Although he told he will hand over the all children, but when Krishna appeared, he didn't give. He broke that promise. Right? Same way Vibhishan left his brother uh, Ravan because he was not willing to listen. Right? So even Arjuna, we see in the war, many times Krishna uh, actually broke the morals, in the sense moral rules in general. Uh, in the sense he told Arjuna to break. So, and Arjuna followed it. So that is really testing, in the sense sometimes if somebody is too attached to following the moral rules and regulations, so then it becomes very difficult. Mhm. So one should understand that the root of all values is Krishna. It's not that values are something separate and Krishna is something separate. So serving Krishna is the most important value which anyone can have, right? So Yudhishthir Maharaj was also known for his moral values and all, but most importantly, he is glorified for his surrender to Krishna. So the other category of Jana Sangha or bad association, so we'll have questions little later. Other category of Jana Sangha or Dharma Dvajis or Pashandis. So they hold the flag of Dharma, but they are pretenders behind the curtain. In a sense, externally they may appear as very religious, but they are pretentious or they are duplicitous. Like Prabhupada, uh, actually when in his childhood, his father used to, Gaur Mohan Dey used to invite lot of sadhus for prasad. So he saw that some of them were not properly following the scriptures and all rules and regulations. So he lost faith. That's why when his friend called him, uh, to meet Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he didn't like. He said he didn't have faith in sadhus. But later, when he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he developed great faith. So here Radheshyam is telling some examples. So one category are called sycophants, those who wear the dress of sadhu, but they only use it as a profession to get money. So they may also maintain a family, they may earn a lot of money. So these people are called parasites or sycophants. So Radheshyam was telling, actually because of all such bad examples, even materialistic people sometimes blame us to be like that. So he was telling devotees should really work hard so that people understand that they are not like that. So Prabhupada, when he was asked, are devotees parasites? He said, no, we are printing books, we are distributing the holy name, we are distributing books. So we are not asking people for donation to fill up our belly. So Prabhupada, we see how when he established ISKCON, he always sent devotees for book distribution or Harinam Sankirtan. He always he said ISKCON is not a place for, it's not a free hotel. Once he was telling, ISKCON is not a free hotel. It's not meant for lazy people. So, so that should be understood. So God actually gives us so many resources. Everything, whatever we have, actually is coming from Krishna. So it's our responsibility, out of gratitude for Krishna, that we should serve him. So actually there are different levels of serving Krishna: out of duty, out of love, out of fear, out of desire. But the best is out of love. But at least out of duty, in the sense Krishna is giving us so much. So a devotee can at least contemplate on what all Krishna is providing. So much. So Shankar was telling the dharma of brahmachari is to give spiritual knowledge. The grahasthas give material needs. Material needs in the sense help ISKCON in giving some donation or help spread Krishna consciousness economically, like that. So other type of wrong Jan Sangha, Shankar was telling, humanizers, those who speak Bhagavad Katha, but they have 2-3 wives, they don't have any character. So their only propagation of whatever Bhagavad Sapta is to only enjoy. Other category is the Sahajiya. They may speak very nice Krishna Katha or the Ras Leela, the 10th canto pastimes. So lot of people may come because they like to hear all such things. But that is very, very dangerous. Another category he was telling, the Apasampradayas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned the 13 Apasampradayas who completely are what we call deviated, although sometimes they also appear to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or they may also appear to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, like we see in Jagannath Puri when we go sometimes. There are so many what we call temples, and even in Vrindavan also. But many of them are like this Apasampradayas. So then Rajasamitra was telling, even in ISKCON there could be wrong association. So he gave some examples. So if somebody doesn't speak about Krishna but is too much speaking only about outside matters, what is happening in the world, and only talking about all materialistic things, then also it comes under bad association. He said this is Prakrita Bhaktas. They are very, very dangerous to associate. So sometimes even in a class, somebody may speak more about outside things than Krishna consciousness, or things which may not be related to Krishna. So sometimes it is required, like if somebody is giving a class to new people, we may have to give some data, like how many suicides happen in a year, or some statistics we call. So sometimes such things are okay, but that should not go on and on and on, in a sense not that every time we only discuss such things. So another example Prabhuji was telling is reading lot of management books. So he said it may make one professional, but not devotional. So what are the dangers if somebody reads too many of other books like management books or psychology books rather than reading Prabhupada books? So he gave these examples. He said ISKCON is managed by inspiration, not by in outside organizations we see that people work because they get something in return, in the sense some material, something material, so they work very hard. But devotees, we have to inspire them because it is uh, devotional service never should be forced. It should come out naturally. Sometimes as being part of organization, we may have to sometimes tell devotees that they have to do certain services like Janmashtami, but still we always have the free will. Nobody is forced to do service. So if somebody is too much intoxicated by reading those books and people too much appreciate, he was telling they may never come back. They may just be attached to such things only. They will never come back to Krishna. Just like Bharat Maharaj, he initially came for Krishna consciousness to forest, but then he got distracted. So it should not become like that. So one may even offend devotees, giving more importance to those things. He may lose taste. So he gave another example of a devotee who developed more faith in Stephen Covey and rather than his own spiritual master, and he joined him because he wanted to make a career out of it. So we may not be able to represent Krishna consciousness or philosophy properly. So one should be very, very careful, Prabhuji was telling. And even books like Chaitanya Charitamrita, unless it is authorized by the spiritual master or senior devotees, sometimes people read books by other organizations. So because when we read, we never know, they may concoct many pastimes. Like in one book, it is mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met his wife after sannyas, but actually it is never so. In the sense, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never met his wife again after sannyas. He only met his mother, Sachi. So like that, there will be many wrong things if you are not careful. So he said if somebody is too much what he call voracious to read books, so uh, they can read deeper shastras as long as they don't deviate. In the sense, they can read even in ISKCON there are so many other books, but one should read them under the guidance, because they may have that what you call natural stout intelligence. Some people, they are not satisfied with what you call Prabhupada books. They may think, no, I want to read all the commentaries of all the acharyas, or I also want to read Shad Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami. Some people may be interested in such things. So, but that can be done under the guidance of some very senior devotees, because sometimes even such kind of reading, um, if they don't do under guidance, then they also may start feeling that these things are more important than proper books, and they may get distracted, or they may lose faith in Prabhupada also. Hmm. So also Rajsham was telling, if somebody is characterless, unsurrendered to Guru, loose with them, and one should not hear from them. They should be authorized by someone whom we have faith. So Prabhupada created this wonderful association of devotees in ISKCON so that we can all get benefited. As Krishna says, Matchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Paraspara Katayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. So devotees, they come together and they constantly chant his glories, remember him. So they relish hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. So one should be very blessed. Actually, to get the association of devotees is considered the greatest benediction in one's life. The greatest of devotees, when Lord appears before them, they all want the association of devotees as benediction. So we should be grateful when we are receiving the association of devotees. So if you take it casually, then Rajshambhu says we will become casuality. So what is association with non-devotees compared to? So in this Katyan Samhita it is mentioned that it is better to accept the miseries of being engaged within the bars and surrounded by burning flames than to associate with those bereft of Krishna consciousness. Such association is great hardship. In another verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells it is worse than drinking poison, associating with Vishayis. Why? Because one's Krishna consciousness may means if one takes poison, one may die, right? And again, one will take birth. But if the Visha, the poison of sense gratification, if it enters our heart, then life after life, one may find it difficult to give it up. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants. So according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there are two kinds of categories in this Jana Sangha. So if somebody is too much finding fault amongst the association of devotees, if there are people like that, it is better to keep distance from such people, because by associating with such critical fault finders, our mentality also goes down. We may start doubting every Vaishnava. We may start finding faults in every Vaishnava, as if we are given an authority to do so. So the right kind of association is that association which will enhance our faith in the parampara. So if we get that association, we should be very, very eager and desperate to take such association. Actually, whichever association enhances our Krishna consciousness or is helping us to increase our Krishna consciousness, we should take it more and more. Even if it means if someone is a junior devotee, in the sense externally one may come little later in Krishna consciousness, but if their association is enhancing our Krishna consciousness, then we should take their association also. We should not go by externals. Just like Narottam Das Thakur, he sings in that song, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Karamoy, Ramachandra Sangamage Narottam Das. So actually Ramchandra Kaviraj, he is a disciple of Srinivas Acharya. So Srinivasacharya and Narottam are friends, but all those this Ramchandra Kaviraj is in that sense he has come later, but still Narottam Das Thakur is very greedy to take his association. So that is how we can avoid the bad association. So to avoid bad association, we should be eager for good association. Very simple. So that association doesn't mean physical also, and especially now during lockdown time. So the association may be more through hearing Vani. So by Krishna's mercy, we have so many Vaishnavas in ISKCON, so many pure devotees, right? So many wonderful Vaishnavas. So there is no limit to what you call the Vani, especially now during this time. Continuously, so many lectures are going all over the world. So we can take advantage of that association so that we can give up the association of all the bad association, and especially the association of mind. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says the greatest non-devotee is mind in the conditioned state. So one should be very careful not to hear one's mind. If we follow our mind blindly, then there is no use. So we'll end here. If someone has some questions, we can take. So here one devotee is asking, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Yamam Vap Smaran Bhavam. At the end of life, if one remembers Krishna, he will go to Krishna. So Gandhiji, in his when he was leaving, he said, "Hey Ram." So how to understand this? See, in that verse only it is said, "Yamam Vapi Smaran Bhavam," is loving remembrance of Lord. So see, we can judge a person by his activities. So Gandhiji, yeah, he was a what we call him the father of nation, and he did lot of social welfare activities. That's fine. Also, it is said how he carried Bhagavad Gita with him. So there are certain good things, but we should also understand that he was not chanting 16 rounds or following all those rules and regulations, right? So definitely he's pious man. So he might have got uh, some good destination maybe. But we should understand Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He sees our attitude, our mood, not just the externals, right? So that is the answer for that. One minute. There are some more questions. Please give some examples of sense gratification. So many examples. Acha, breaking the rules first in the name of sense gratification. So I gave an example, small one example of eating the cookies which are meant for others. Or more severe than that is like no illicit sex. Somebody may break it because he is attached to sense gratification. Okay, another question is it necessary to chant Gayatri Mantra before chanting Hare Krishna? See, I was talking about Gayatri of Brahman initiated devotees. Not everyone, not the general Gayatri mantra. So those are Brahman initiated, they have certain mantras which they have to recite 3 times. So that enhances one's devotional service. Okay. Okay, there's another question. So one devotee is telling Prabhupada says Gandhi is a saint among politicians and politician among sadhus. Okay. Okay. Someone is telling there is an article stating that Gandhi has not taken the name of Lord Ram at the time of death. Okay, anyway, yeah, no comments on that. Hare Krishna. So how can I increase our faith? See, our Praman is Prabhupada. Prabhupada actually glorified Gandhi for some things. Like how he was simple and such things, renounced. But he also chastised him many times for not taking up Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada actually wrote many letters to Gandhi telling him, requesting him to take up Krishna consciousness. So he said, whole life he gave for nation, but the people of nation and themselves killed him. So what is the use of giving one's life like that? Prabhupada many times quotes in his lectures. Okay, how can I increase our faith in Krishna and how can I become peaceful? So if you want to increase faith in Krishna, we have to hear more about Krishna. So you hear more about the glories of Krishna. So Krishna book, actually Prabhupada said, I gave Krishna book so that one can actually develop one's dormant love for Krishna. So we can read Krishna book, especially next month Janmashtami is coming. So we can read those pastimes. Also, we ourselves can see how because of Krishna's mercy our life is transforming. Like when we are chanting, we are getting transformed, right? Slowly but surely, grossly and slowly, subtly also. So that changes in our life should inspire us. Okay. And also one can associate with those devotees who increase our faith. Also, Prabhupada's life, the life of Acharyas itself is very inspiring. If we hear their pastimes, if we hear the pastimes of Acharyas, Prabhupada, it can increase because how they are able to actually develop so much love for Krishna and transform so many others. Okay. How to become peaceful? Very simple. Krishna said, Bhoktaram Ignatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So when you understand Surudam Sarvabhutanam Gyatmamam Shantirechati, when you understand Krishna is supreme enjoyer, supreme controller and our best friend, we can be peaceful. Because we want to enjoy and we want to control and we want to become best friend of others, keeping aside Krishna, that's why we are not peaceful. So you just follow that peace formula, then we'll be peaceful. It's very simple. Which book is helpful for offenseless chanting? Satyanarayan Prabhu. Actually, there are many books on chanting. The Nectarian Ocean of Holy Name by Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. Then there is Japa, this book by His Grace Burijan Prabhu. There are many books on chanting, so you can start that reading those books, and it will help, because in that there are descriptions given how to overcome the offenses. You can start with one of the books. Nandakumar Pro is asking, we had to meet many people for our office work. Some may be from other organizations. How to present ourselves? Actually, initially we can give them prasad, because that is most attractive form of Krishna. Everyone, even Mayavadis or Muslims, everyone can take it. If somebody, what you call, says, no, I can't take any religious food, you need not tell it is prasadam also. You just give, just like medicine. If we don't know what is a medicine, and if you take it, still the effect is there, right? So initially feed prasad, then slowly people will become favorable. They will understand, oh, this is a nice person. Then we slowly start checking the pulse. Actually, a devotee or a preacher should be very expert. He should be able to see that spark of devotion in others' hearts. If someone has little bit of that spark, we should very carefully fan it. Like some people on their own, they show interest, and they may ask questions about ISKCON or different. So that means they are little interested. They themselves want to come to temple. So such people we should give more time and energy. But some people, they are gross materialists. They are least interested. So we need not spend much time. So we can focus on some few people who have that spark in them. Even if it is very few, not an issue, we can keep fanning them. And eventually they may become devotees or at least well wishers. Like that. In Pune, some of the devotees in lunchtime, they regularly discuss some Bhagavad Gita shlokas, and they discuss among their colleagues. Means those who are favorable for 15-20 minutes, something like that. So if we get some good colleagues, we can also do like that. Okay. What is Daridra Narayan? Actually, they, for Mayavadis, everyone is Narayan. They say that uh, everyone is Narayan. So when they serve very poor people, they say, no, this is Daridra Narayan Seva. Because that is their wrong understanding. Considering everyone to be Narayan, that is offensive. Okay, so we can't bring Narayan to that such low level. Okay, fine. I think questions are over. We'll end here. Thank you very, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Upadeshamrit ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samved Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hari Bol. Okay.